Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews, second Oktoberfest of the day. We're going on to Victory, Downingtown, Pennsylvania, beba. And this is Festbier Marzen 5.6 instead of 6.5, like the Great Lakes Brewing Company. Right now I'm making some bread on the stove, some fry bread kind of stuff. I've never tried it before. It's an experimental thing I'm trying to do for campfire cooking. So you'll probably... Usually I kind of wing it when I do campfire cooking, but I got interrupted today, so I had to bring it inside, and I figured since I don't have enough time to go back outside and do this stuff, or I just don't have the oomph, I figure I'll just cook it in here. Cook it in here. If I like it, I'll cook it out there, and if I don't like it, I'll change a couple things and I'll cook it out there. So anyway, a taste of Oktoberfest. So basically, Bavaria Oktoberfest. No Germans there, just a bunch of Australians. That's what I've been told. Gather the friends, grab a boot of Festbier, and with a slap of the foam, let the festivities begin. Slap it off and hit your mom. Crafted with authentic German recipe, this Marzen style lager is a perfect balance of subtly sweet and refreshingly smooth, baby. The malts, of course, are Vienna and Munich. And then hops are Tettnanger and Hallertau, and that absolutely. And of course, the brewmasters of Victory being Bill and Ron. I've never met those wonderful men, but one of these days I'll touch their butts. And again, 5.6, so a little bit more on the sessionable side than the 6.5 from Great Lakes. But a lot of people aren't drinking this in that Oktoberfest spirit. They're just drinking Oktoberfest around a fire, chilling out with some friends, or just by themselves because they're lonely assholes like me. So there you go. So it's not really the same deal. I'm sure they are doing something Oktoberfesty out there, but I think the vast majority across the country are not buying that for that reason. Good to say that. And that's all I'm going to tell you. So I guess we'll drink the beer. So here it is. Actually, it's a little bit darker. Already I can see it's a little bit darker than the Oktoberfest I had previously. And I hope there's a little bit more caramel. Sit some aroma. Cheers. Earthy floral tonalities coming up. You get a little bit of roasted toasty, a little bit of that kind of toasted bread. The graininess is not as apparent. Little bit of hint of burnt caramels. All right, let's do it. Cheers. Very soft and smooth, but very nice. There's a little bit of a minerality to this one, like a water tone minerality. There's a little bit of hollowness there that this one was just filled up with that screaming grain. In the back of the palate, right in the right before you go into that, like the end, you'll see a little bit of that, or you'll feel and taste a little bit of that burnt sugar caramel. But honestly, this is really subtle. Really subtle. It is extremely easy drinking and extremely approachable, but this is extremely subtle. There's no standouts. Everything's very... That's not the greatest thing in the world. I would say even the one that we gave a 7 out of, which would be the New Trail Oktoberfest that we already reviewed, but I have it right there. Probably drink it after these. That was a very approachable, textbook solid kind of a deal, but it wasn't standing out at all. But I think I gave that one like a 7. I would give this one a little bit step down than that, because it is very just placid, if you know what I mean. All the characters are all kind of there, but they're not just... They're back doing their own thing. Burp's nice, but I also am burping a little bit of the beer that I had before. Excuse me. But in the style of Oktoberfest, when you waft it around your palate, you get a nice little peppery earthiness wafting through the thing. You get a little soft grain, a little bit of that burnt caramel in the background, a little bit of a soft brown bread or brown toasted component, a little earthiness in the background, but everything's really muted. But again, in the point of an Oktoberfest is to swill much beer. Swill much beer. And this is a kind of a beer. So, good and bad, I guess you could say. Indifferent. I am to this one. Speaking like Yoda, I don't know why. But as dynamic flavors go, this one is extremely, I said placid would be a good word for this one. So I'm going to give it a 6.5 overall for Oktoberfest. 6.5 for the victory. It's I just want to knock it a little bit below because the New Trail we consider very textbook. But we gave it it was very approachable, very easy drinking, very kind of, again, placid. So we gave it that 7. This one's a little bit below that, actually. So I want to give it like a 6.5. I know I don't want to shit on it. It's just one of those ones that is just kind of almost to the point where it's there. It's just there. Drink it. It's there. And you don't want to be there. You know what I mean? So it's still a little bit above that. So I want to give it a 6.5 out of 10. This is Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers. Bye-bye. Watch up again. Here it comes. Bye-bye.